How to Overcome the Fear of Being Judged, a Guide to Gaining Confidence and Letting Go of Worry. Written by Faith Watson and published by Audiobooks Haven. Introduction. The fear of being judged is a common experience. Many of us have moments where we feel anxious about what others might think of us, whether it's at work, in social situations, or even in everyday conversations. This fear can become paralyzing, preventing us from pursuing our goals, expressing ourselves fully, or even enjoying life. Overcoming the fear of judgment involves developing self-awareness, self-compassion, and confidence. In this article, we'll explore practical strategies to help you break free from the fear of being judged and embrace your true self. Chapter 1. Understand the root of your fear. Before you can tackle the fear of judgment, it's essential to understand where it comes from. This fear often stems from deep-seated concerns about acceptance, belonging, or self-worth. When you fear being judged, you may worry about rejection or failure, or you might feel that your value is tied to how others perceive you. Common causes of the fear of judgment: past negative experiences. Rejection, criticism, or embarrassment in your past may contribute to your current fears. Perfectionism. Striving for perfection can lead to fear of failure or judgment if you don't meet your high standards. Low self-esteem. When you lack confidence in your abilities or worth, you may be more susceptible to fear of judgment from others. Understanding the root cause of your fear helps you recognize that it's not necessarily about what others think. It's about your relationship with yourself. Chapter 2. Challenge negative assumptions. Much of the fear of judgment comes from assuming that others are thinking negatively about you. In reality, people are often too focused on their own lives to be constantly judging others. Challenging these negative assumptions can help you reduce anxiety and build a more balanced perspective. How to challenge negative assumptions. Ask yourself, is this assumption realistic? For example, if you're worried about being judged for making a mistake at work, ask yourself if others are truly focused on your error, or if they're likely concerned with their own tasks. Consider the evidence. Reflect on past experiences. How often have you truly been judged negatively by others? Most people are far more understanding and less critical than we imagine. Reframe your thinking. Instead of assuming people will judge you, remind yourself that others are likely supportive or indifferent. Replace thoughts like, "They'll think I'm not good enough," with, "People understand that everyone makes mistakes." Chapter 3. Build self-compassion. Overcoming the fear of judgment requires developing self-compassion, which involves treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer a friend. When you practice self-compassion, you're less likely to feel threatened by the opinions of others because your self-worth isn't tied to their judgments. Ways to practice self-compassion. Acknowledge your imperfections. Everyone has flaws, and making mistakes is part of being human. Instead of criticizing yourself, practice forgiveness and understanding when you fall short of your own or others' expectations. Speak kindly to yourself. Pay attention to your inner dialogue. Replace self-critical thoughts with positive or neutral affirmations like, "I'm doing my best," or "It's okay to not be perfect." Embrace vulnerability. Allow yourself to be imperfect and open about your fears or struggles. Vulnerability is a sign of strength and authenticity, not weakness. By cultivating self-compassion, you'll be better equipped to handle judgment, whether real or imagined, because your self-worth is based on self-acceptance, not external validation. Chapter 4. Shift your focus from others to yourself. One of the key reasons people fear judgment is because they're overly focused on what others think. To overcome this, practice shifting your focus away from external opinions and toward your own values and desires. How to shift your focus. Identify your values. What's most important to you in life, whether it's authenticity, kindness, creativity, or personal growth. When you act in alignment with your values, the opinions of others become less relevant. Pursue your goals. Focus on what you want to achieve rather than how others will perceive your efforts. Whether it's speaking up in a meeting, trying a new hobby, or expressing your opinions, Remind yourself that your actions are about your growth, not about pleasing others. Stay present. The fear of judgment often arises from worrying about what might happen in the future. Practice staying grounded in the present moment through mindfulness techniques such as deep breathing or meditation. By staying present, you reduce the power of hypothetical judgments that haven't even occurred. Chapter 5. Desensitize yourself to criticism. One of the most effective ways to overcome the fear of being judged is to get comfortable with criticism. While it's never easy to be criticized, learning how to handle feedback, whether constructive or not, can help you reduce your sensitivity to judgment and build resilience. Steps to handle criticism. Listen without reacting. When receiving criticism, take a moment to listen without jumping to defensiveness or negative self-talk. Not all criticism is personal, and some may even be helpful for your growth. Separate yourself from the criticism. Understand that criticism is about a specific behavior or action, not a reflection of your worth as a person. Just because someone critiques your work or decisions doesn't mean they're judging you as a whole. Use feedback constructively. If the criticism is valid, use it as an opportunity to improve. If it's not, let it go and move forward. Not all opinions are worth internalizing. As you become more comfortable with feedback, you'll be less afraid of being judged because you'll know that you can handle criticism without letting it define you. Chapter 6. Practice exposure. Like many fears, the fear of being judged often worsens when we avoid situations where we might feel exposed to judgment. One effective technique for overcoming this fear is gradual exposure. This involves putting yourself in situations where you may feel judged and gradually increasing your tolerance for discomfort. How to practice exposure. Start small. Begin by facing low-stakes situations where you fear judgment, such as sharing an idea in a small group or posting something personal on social media. Over time, gradually expose yourself to more challenging situations. Reflect on your experience. After each exposure, reflect on what actually happened versus what you feared would happen. Did people judge you as harshly as you anticipated? Likely not. Celebrate your courage. Each time you face your fear of judgment, acknowledge your bravery. Over time, you'll build confidence and reduce your anxiety in these situations. Chapter 7. Let go of perfectionism. Perfectionism is a major contributor to the fear of judgment because it creates unrealistic standards for yourself. When you believe you must be perfect to avoid judgment, you set yourself up for constant anxiety and disappointment. Steps to let go of perfectionism. Acknowledge imperfection. Accept that no one is perfect, and it's okay to make mistakes. Remind yourself that striving for excellence is admirable, but perfection is unattainable. Set realistic expectations. Break free from the mindset that everything you do must be flawless. Set achievable goals and recognize that progress is more important than perfection. Embrace mistakes. View mistakes as opportunities to learn rather than sources of shame. The more you accept imperfection, the less afraid you'll be of judgment. Chapter 8. Surround yourself with supportive people. Finally, it's important to surround yourself with people who uplift and support you. When you have a strong support system, the fear of judgment diminishes because you know that you have people in your life who accept you for who you are, flaws and all. How to cultivate a supportive network. Seek out positive relationships. Surround yourself with individuals who encourage you, offer constructive feedback, and value your authenticity. Distance yourself from judgmental people. If certain people in your life consistently make you feel judged or insecure, consider setting boundaries or reducing your interactions with them. Be vulnerable with trusted friends. Share your fears with friends who understand and support you. By opening up, you allow yourself to receive reassurance and realize that others are often more understanding than you think. Conclusion. Embracing your authentic self. The fear of being judged can hold you back from living your life authentically and pursuing your goals. By understanding the root of your fear, challenging negative assumptions, practicing self-compassion, and focusing on your own values, you can gradually overcome this fear. Remember, Everyone experiences judgment at some point, but it doesn't have to define your self-worth. With practice, you can let go of the fear of judgment and embrace your true, authentic self. Thanks for listening to this from Audiobooks Haven.